What's going on, everybody? Meteorologist Frank Gaetano here, live from the Hail Palace for your daily hail and wind forecast. As always, sponsored by C3 Group, Merlin Law Group, American Contractor Show, and Atlas. Thanks you guys for sponsoring these videos and making them possible. Getting right into our weather headlines right now. Summer pattern is here. Most of the country is going to get pretty hot throughout this week as that heat dome sets up and ridge builds in across the country. So we're expecting some hot weather throughout the week. And that is going to affect our hail chances, but we do have a pretty big time hail and wind risk up north today. It's not in a very populated area, but this is our best risk of the week in terms of hail sizes and the significance of the wind up in the northern plains. And then we do have some risk to talk about for Tuesday and Wednesday later this week, so we'll get into that later on. But first, as always, we're going to talk about our upcoming events. The TAMCO 50th anniversary event is going to be in Denver, Colorado on June 23rd. That's going to be at 5300 East 43rd Ave in Denver. They're going to be doing food, games, prizes, demos. So it is the customer appreciation event, the 50th anniversary event. That's on June 23rd. Make sure you head out to that. And then also on June 23rd, we have the Lunch and Learn event down in Grapevine, Texas at 1901 South Main Street. We're going to be there. We got a bunch of other people sponsoring. There's going to be good speakers. It's going to be a great time down in Grapevine on June 23rd. Let's get into yesterday's storm reports. So we had some severe weather across the northern plains, back to further to the west, and then down in New Mexico and Colorado, pretty rural areas there. And we also had some sub-severe reports coming in down in Florida. But we're going to zoom in here to the northern plains and out west. We had a nice swath of hail and wind going through the northern plains, South Dakota, into North Dakota. And then we work our way back west into Idaho, where we had some wind reports. A couple of hail reports come in that area, and then some wind and hail down in the Salt Lake City area as well. And then, like I said, pretty rural, but we did have a couple of hail reports come in southwestern Colorado and then just west of the Albuquerque area as well. So right now across the country, there's not too much going on. We do have some scattered shower and rain activity going on in our risk area, so we'll zoom in on that. We do have some precipitation moving through. This is expected to move out and start to intensify later in the afternoon. We're going to see some storms bubbling up down by the Rapid City area after this stuff clears out. And then we have some sub-severe rain going on in northern Michigan, working its way southeastward towards the Cleveland and Buffalo area. We're not expecting any severe weather out of that. Temperatures around the country, like I said, it's starting to get hot. We see this ridge building in the central part of the country. We're going to be seeing 80s, 90s, some spots hitting 100 down here in the southern plains. And that's going to be a common factor through this week as that ridge continues to build and build. We're going to be seeing these temperatures working their way even further to the west, and the southeast could see some record high temperatures later this week. So like I said, it's going to be getting pretty hot around the country this week. As in terms of moisture, we have a good swath of moisture here in the central part of the country. Dew point of 70 up in Minneapolis, so it's a little muggy up there. We're in the 60s down here in Oklahoma. 73 down in Miami. It's always muggy down there. That's kind of what we're expecting all the time. But just a nice general good swath of moisture in the central part of the country. So that's going to be fuel for storms as we take a look at our significant hail model. This is going to be showing us where the conditions are ripe for very large hail, where you see those darker colors. So this is 4 p.m. today. We see big time values here in South Dakota, and then that little swath going up into North Dakota. This is going to be the prime areas where we're going to be seeing the likelihood of that very large hail. And then as the evening goes on, that continues to advect towards the east. And then once storms get past there and the convective inhibition sets in later on this evening, we do see those values start to go down, and hail sizes will go down as these storms track eastward throughout the evening. Here's what that's going to look like on our future radar. This is the HRRR model. We're going to let this run through as we get to around 4:30, 5 o'clock today. We do see those storms starting to pop up around the Rapid City, South Dakota area. We could see some pretty big hail with this. Golf ball to 2-inch hail likely there, as the best values are really going to be by that time towards central South Dakota and into North Dakota. And if we move forward 1 hour, we see storms starting to pop up around the Fargo, North Dakota area, working their way northeastward. That's going to be expecting some very large hail with that activity as we get into the afternoon. And then evening hours, this activity still continues into northern Minnesota, seeing some possibility of very large hail there. And then, like I said, central South Dakota, we're going to see some storms bubbling up. And then the stuff's going to start to line out. You see that little bow there? That's going to be producing some significant wind as we get into northern South Dakota and southern North Dakota, going into the Fargo area. Later on this evening, we could be expecting wind gusts in excess of 75 miles per hour with that line as it goes towards the east, northeastward throughout the evening and into the overnight hours. I'd expect storms to die down around 2, 3 a.m. as we do get that inhibition in the atmosphere, kind of tempering those storms, the severity of those storms. So my forecast max hail size for today, I'm going to go with tennis ball size hail. Could see bigger than that, but I think the most common very large reports are going to be around 2.5 inches, so that's tennis ball size. So that's my forecast max hail size for today. And what's this going to look like graphically in terms of our hail forecast? Nice little swath here we have in the northern plains. Let's zoom in and talk about a couple cities. Rapid City, like I showed you, around 4, 5 o'clock, we're going to see those storms start to bubble up in your area, so you have a moderate risk of seeing that large hail. Same thing with Aberdeen as we get into central South Dakota later on, and I have a higher risk for Fargo. We're going to be seeing some very conducive conditions there as storms start to pop up around 5, 6 o'clock in that area for large hail. So those storms are going to start in Rapid City and in Fargo, and both of those areas are going to work their way east-northeastward throughout the evening, so we have a moderate chance for Bismarck as well in North Dakota. Yeah, as I move this over to talk more about Fargo, I forgot I put that in there. That's absolutely fine. We're going to move on to the wind forecast now. So generally the same area, and like I said, we do have a swath, possibility of significant gusts here in northern South Dakota and southern North Dakota, and we'll take a look at the chances for those cities as well. Moderate chance for Rapid City as you do see those storms popping up around 4 or 5 o'clock. There's a chance for tornadoes in South Dakota and North Dakota, specifically within that area where we're going to see those significant wind gusts. So I have a high chance for Aberdeen to see winds. It's not a high chance for tornadoes, say about 5% chance for tornadoes in that area. Same thing goes for Fargo, but these risks are for seeing those significant wind gusts in excess of 75 miles per hour with that bow that comes through later on in the evening. So we're going to take a look at tomorrow's hail forecast. Sponsored by Merlin Law Group. So this is what we're looking at for tomorrow. In the Midwest, there's supposed to be a radar here. I think I forgot to turn that one on. That's okay. There's going to be some factors here that make this a little bit of a messy forecast. There's going to be some mid-level temperatures that are warmer than normal, so it might temper storms being able to initiate, which is why we have low chances across the board for all these cities. But if we do get storms to pop up, we could see up to ping pong ball size hail with any of those storms, but that mid-level warming might temper the chances of us actually seeing those storms as that trough, there's a shortwave trough that moves eastward throughout the area. So we'll have to see how that works out. And it's the same exact scenario for the wind. So we'll move in on the wind. I have low chances across the board. We need to see if we can get those storms to actually fire and overcome that convective inhibition throughout the afternoon. We will have a lot of instability. It's going to be hot, like I mentioned earlier. We're going to be seeing hot temperatures. There's good moisture, so we're going to have the ingredients there. We just need to actually have those storms fire. And right now, I'm not seeing a high chance of that happening, so we'll have to reassess this tomorrow, but right now, I've got pretty low chances across the board of these cities seeing significant wind or hail from those storms. So we're going to go into our future jet stream here. Like I mentioned, it's hot. You got this ridge building in, and this is going to be the feature that's causing today's weather, and then that's going to eject northeastward and kind of move up into Canada as this ridge continues to get bigger, and we're going to be seeing some possibly record-breaking temperatures down in the southeast, hundreds across the board in the southern plains as that ridge continues to build in. And we do see a little bit of shortwave trough moving through here. This is going to be for your Wednesday. So that's going to move the risk further into the Ohio Valley and then up towards the northeast. So we could see a risk from the Buffalo area all the way back down through just to the east of the St. Louis area in southern Illinois. So we're going to have to take a look at that here in a second. And this continues to stay hot as we get into more of a zonal flow pattern here. The ridge stays across the central part of the country, and we do continue to see those very warm temperatures in the southeast and the southern plains. So my look ahead forecast is only going to be for Wednesday right now. We'll have to see how things pan out past then. But like I mentioned, that short wave is going to be moving through the Ohio Valley on Wednesday. So we could see some storms as long as that convective inhibition, the cap, like we like to call it, isn't too heavy. We could see storms pop up anywhere from western New York back through Pennsylvania and all the way back into southern Illinois. So that's kind of what we have to look forward to for Wednesday, and we'll see if that can actually happen. But until then, stay in contact with us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. We're at HailTrace for all of those. And if you want to get in direct contact with us, you can call us at 855-334-4245. You can email us at info@hailtrace.com or go straight to our website at www.hailtrace.com. Until then, I'm Frank Gaetano. Everybody have a great rest of your Monday.